What do you say we just try a little common sense? Just from time to time, when we're talking about the Ground Zero Mosque, let's try it on. Put the thinking cap on. A little later, I'm going to share an idea one of my Fox colleagues has. I'm not sure if he's serious or not. Stick around. You don't want to miss that. But first, here are the things that common sense tells us that we should do. 1, put a hold on the construction planning on this. Stop until a full vetting is completed. Find out a little bit more about Rauf and his involvement with the flotilla. Look, if it's being built by the woman on O'Reilly's show, great, build it. This guy doesn't pass the smell test, something's not right. Find out why it's going to be next to Ground Zero, because I bet these two are related. Find out why they wanted to open it on 9/11. They've since emailed us and said, well, that's not going to happen. Was it going to? Because that was never a good idea. 4, stop with the government Muslim outreach programs. Okay? I'm tired of it. I don't care what the rest of the world, I don't really care. I don't care. Gonna send people over there. We're gonna have NASA go over to Muslim nations and tell them how smart they used to be. What is that? 5, acknowledge that terror actually exists. Oh yeah, it exists. It exists in many different forms. That's terror. There are environmental terrorists like ELF and ALF. There are economic terrorists. Yeah. Somebody that would force you to do something you didn't want to do by scaring you. Like Congress. Like Congress when they pull people up. You remember Maxine Waters when she said, I'll tell you what this liberal's going to do. This liberal's going to take your country. Remember that? That's kind of an economic terrorist right there. You see, terrorism in its broadest form is just designed to scare you into changing your way of life. Because they know, well, for instance, Maxine Waters knows, you can't defeat the free market system. So you have to scare it. Yeah, control it. You can't defeat things. You can't defeat America militarily. So you have to change its behavior. We learned after 9/11 the best way to defeat terrorism, and that is, don't be afraid. Don't really care. The Times Square bomber, that's just down the street from here. Are New Yorkers concerned about that? Yeah. Are New Yorkers changing the way they're living? Nope. Be easy to blow something up here. It would be. But any terrorist that comes here, or I think any place in the country, ought to know one thing. You're blowing yourselves up for nothing. You're not going to get the virgins, okay? And you're also not going to change us. You probably heard the phrase, don't give up the ship. Do you know where it's from? So when we were still fighting the British in the War of 1812, American naval officer James Lawrence, he was facing the British. I mean, they didn't suck on the seas. Well, he had a crew that was less, that he had, only trained for about 2 weeks. And the British ship had been together for 7 years. That's kind of an important thing. They were losing their butt. And Captain Lawrence gave his last command. He's there he looked a little like David Buckner laying here on the floor going, and he gave his last command, and it was, don't give up the ship, fight until she sinks. It took less than an hour for the British ship to sink that ship and win the battle. Lawrence died. Lawrence died. But when Officer Oliver Hazard Perry heard the news, he ordered something to be made, and here it is. And if I can get it down, there it is. It's a flag. Don't give up the ship. They flew it for a while. Flag was displayed on the flagship during the engagement against the British later that year. Oh, and they won that one. So what can we take from this? Don't give up the ship. You might lose the ship. You might lose a battle here or there. You might not. But you better keep standing. Unless you stand up and vow not to lose the ship. Even if you lose the battle. Remember what the phrase means. A year later, they went on and won the war. You know what's really interesting? This whole battle that we're having right now, been fought before, this whole battle, we know how it's going to end. We've already won. We're just choosing sides now. Refuse to give up the ship. little confused tonight because I thought we were told that the economy was fixed. I mean, if not fixed, certainly it was saved. Watch.
We have pulled the economy back from the brink.
We took difficult and, frankly, unpopular steps to pull them back from the brink.
Everyone knows we've been brought back from the brink.
We have pulled us back from the brink. We have made genuine success.
When you bring it back from the brink, then what happens? I mean, is George Bush still behind the curtain, you know, pulling us back to, excuse me, I have the hiccups, I've had them all day, back from the brink of disaster? Because we seem to be dangling on the precipice yet again. Consumers have no confidence in the economy. Job worries drove July consumer confidence level to the lowest. This is going to be ridiculous. The lowest since February. Today we learned that the Fed has downgraded their economic outlook. We lost another 131,000 jobs last month. After Obama bragged about stopping the hemorrhaging, the number of Americans on food stamps have hit an all-time high. Yeah. Look at the chart by the Heritage Foundation. The president pledged to create 3.5 million jobs by 2010. That would put us at 137.8 million jobs. What is the actual amount? Where is it? There. Ooh. Based on the July 2010 numbers, that leaves a deficit, don't worry, only about 7.6 million jobs. Plus, the administration's highest profile economic officials, other than Tim Geithner, Peter Orszag, Christina Romer, they both resigned. Yeah. They're out of here. The administration's only response to the massive unemployment seems to be, hey, to keep people on unemployment lines, we got to keep them, you know, their benefits going longer. Really? Nancy Pelosi actually made the point that unemployment payments stimulate the economy. Here she is.
It creates jobs faster than almost any other initiative you can name.
It creates jobs faster. Have you ever worked for a guy who was saying, hang on a second, I'm going to pay you out of my unemployment check. I just have to cash it first. This is a theory that government gives people money so that they buy things. Yeah, except where does that money come from? You. Now here's the latest. Fannie and Freddie are now on perpetual government assistance, and when they blow through the cash, you know, that we gave them, they just come back and say, I need more. They now loan out more of your money back to you, and then they run out, and then they take your money so they can loan more of your money back. It doesn't really work. To progressives like Barack Obama and Nancy Pelosi, the system is better than trickle-down economics. Oh, yeah, they've been telling us since Reagan. Oh, that Reagan thing didn't work. Here's their version of trickle-down economics, okay? This is the way they tell you it works. Here's the fat, rich monopoly guy who buys a yacht with all of his cash. And then he sails to Europe, where he keeps it docked to avoid taxes. And then he stays there in the south of France or Spain, some exotic place. That's where he spends all of his money, so you get none of his evil fat cat money, ever. It never trickles down to you. So what the government has said is that's where they come in. They got to step in. The government has to take the money from the monopoly guy and give it to you. So these move down here, which equals him. You're happy because you have all the money. You also received all the free money, so you'll joyfully vote for these people who took the monocled millionaire's dough and gave it to you. Doesn't matter if he's happy or not. He's evil. He's a fat cat. Look at him. Look at him. How much does one guy really need? Did he need all of this? That's the world of economics according to the progressives. But that's not the real world. I'll show you the real world next.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere, and that means happy hour. New shirt? Check. Deodorant on? Check. Pockets filled with Altoids? Check. And that dorky guy from digital sales volunteered to be the designated driver. So it's time to get your groove on. But wait, you forgot the most important thing. Who is the designated DVR programmer? You can't miss Beth. You've got a way better